Yeah. Later. But all the guns were on the top. I mean, the thing that made this place was the Great Siege.
Yeah, the walls are about 15 foot thick. And they dug out some of these walls and they found a load of skeletons behind it and old uniforms and stuff. It was such a hoo-ha, they just ripped it up again.
As is often the case, yeah. And the scenes here, look. This is the King's Bastion, and you can see the water was just, it's all very shallow. And these was a stop boat.
Whose money penny came with Disraeli?
I don't know. Miss Moneypenny.
I wonder if that was the inspiration for, I can't remember his name now.
Bond.
The fella who wrote it.
Fleming.
Ian Fleming. I wonder if that's where he got the money.
Noisy people. That's what Gibraltar was like. Look, when the Spanish blathered it, bombarded it. It was destroyed. And there's a good picture. This is a good picture because this shows the wall that we've just walked all the way down. This is the Bastion. This is where we are now. And as we get down here, there's the Devil's Tongue sticking out, which I have filmed in the past, but it's really hard to describe what. It's all surrounded by skyscrapers today.
Well, my favourite plant shop is right on the end of that.
And then Ocean Village is built in here. You wouldn't recognise it today.
Our marina is over there, and I mean it was all like desert. When we first came down, actually, La Linea was just desert.
Yeah.
Really.
I've had my picture taken in that building. That's still there, that building. And that's a good shot from the top of the rock. Here you go.
Edward VII, Queen Mary in 1901, George V.
Queen Elizabeth II, accompanied by Prince Philip in 1954.
Edward VII, first reigning British monarch ever to visit Gibraltar, with his wife Queen Alexandra in 1905, and 1906, Georgia Mary in 1927. I didn't know that. Oh, it was 1954 the Queen came here. I thought it was 57.
Okay, this is Lamport Tunnel. This is the original entrance from the old days. This was beefed up by the British, but these walls originally were all Moorish. The Moors built them all. You can see damage where it's been patched up from various sieges and attacks. And right up on the top there, you can't see it's behind the trees, that's the Moorish castle. Okay, do you want to do the museum first or get lunch?
Lunch. Let's go the Elliot.
Okay, I'll follow you. This isn't the grubby bits, these are really old colonial buildings.
It's the Department of Social Security.
Well, it is now. But it wasn't then.
Just been past the fabulous Elliot Hotel entrance. Don't want to film that at all. Want to come out and film the DSS.
What do you mean, this place?
Yeah, I love that. I love this hotel. All the hotels here are lovely, but I'm particularly fond of this one because it's the first one I ever stayed at in the Gib.
But it's like a wind tunnel, we can't eat here.
No, it's awful. It's like a hurricane. Right.
Let's go find somewhere to eat.
Maybe the horseshoe after all.
Okay.
Yeah, been to the museum, and we didn't want to pay until we know that we can film. You can't film. You've got to ask permission from the directors. That's why there are no films of it on YouTube. So you'll have to fill the form in and ask the director's permission, and you might get a curator to go around with you. Oh my God. You know me and crowd scream. I don't know if this is going to work. Privacy,
You feel like there's no privacy?
Yeah.
Well, my brilliant wheeze for today was to go to the museum and film the the model that they built in 1865, showing all the defences of Gibraltar. It's really good. It's really good. It is on the internet. I've got pictures of it, so I can put that in, I suppose. And then I was going to take a walk along. You need to see it really. Walk down the defensive wall, which the sea was on the other side. And today we've got half a mile of buildings. Now the entire street plan of the city of Gibraltar was built by the Moors, you know, over 1,000 years ago. And a lot of it got destroyed over the years, you know, with by the Spanish and bombardments with cannons and things. I mean, they obliterated what they could hit. And so a lot of the buildings now have been rebuilt, obviously, but they're all on the same street plan. So when you come here and look around, the street plan is original from like 1,000 years ago. Bishop Rapalos Ramp. This is the Catholic cathedral, and it's used to be a mosque in the days of in the Islamic days, and when the Spanish took it, they just turned the mosque into a Catholic cathedral, and it's been Catholic cathedral ever since. This is the garrison library. It's closed, is it? So the museums, they've got museum Nazis in there, won't let you film, and the garrison library is shut. Okay, Main Street runs parallel to where we are now, and it's much quieter here. A lot quieter. And like I said, it's all original Moorish street plan. So we're going to make our way to the Trafalgar Cemetery, where they have soldiers buried, well, Navy sailors buried that were fighting in the Battle of Trafalgar. I mean, most of them were buried at sea. The ones that were injured came to Gibraltar for treatment in hospital, and the ones that didn't make it, obviously, are the ones that had died, you know, were buried here. So yes, there are sailors who were fighting in the Battle of Trafalgar. Inces Hall Theatre, that's a really old colonial building, named after Sergeant Major Ince. Now this is interesting, look at the wall, because that wall's all original from the days of the Moors. The British, they sort of lined the outside with Portland slabs and things and made it look a lot more modern, but that's how it looked originally. And this is the original gate. They made a newer one for the traffic over there. This is exactly how it looked.
Look at this bad boy.
Look at this bad boy. Armstrong rifled muzzle loader. You can't see down the barrel, but if you could, it would be rifled. That's a sentry box. Just go and demonstrate the sentry box.
A very, very short soldier.
The very, very short soldier. Hiding from the rain. It did rain.
Quite claustrophobic.
And then here's the Southport Gate. With the original doors, look. Give you a chance to pause that, try and read that.
Yo no me la creí cuando me saltó lo del campo, me quedé borra.
Now this is the Trafalgar Cemetery. It's just a ditch, really. It's a ditch around the outside wall. But look, you can see the original wall. This is how all the walls were in Gibraltar, like this. None of them had that fancy posh white stone. It was all like this. This is all original. And of course, because this is a ditch, protective ditch around the wall, they just use it as a cemetery. Put graves in it. But this is originally built by the Moors. what you can see here. Like I said, the British possified it. Look, there's all bits crumbling out and falling out. And this is how it was. The Moors just built these enormous defences. I'm guessing I'm 5'10", so to my reach, I'm reaching about 6.5 feet maybe to the end of my hand. And I'm guessing that's got to be 50 to 70 foot high from the bottom of the ditch. And I mean, they call it the Trafalgar Cemetery because there are a couple of people here. There aren't that many. There's a few who were injured and died in hospital here in Gibraltar. And because Trafalgar was like world famous event, wasn't it, in British history, I called it the Trafalgar Cemetery. But it's just a defensive ditch, and we're going to walk all the way around it. They do have like a remembrance parade here every year. That's a proper cannonball. Imagine getting hit by that. Yeah, they had the yellow fever.
1813.
Yellow fever broke out in Gibraltar in
1813.
13. And I refer to it as the Islamic period. I mean, there's a lot of mud. Come down with the rain, we're all over the steps, make me slip over, but red sand gets washed down. There's a beach that's all been paved over now. It's called Red Sands Beach. Southern defences, here we go, check this out. These tombstones were removed from St. Jago's Barracks nearby and fixed on this wall in 1932 under the direction of His Excellency the Governor Sir Alexander Godley. Can't even read half of these. What's the dates on these? Age 16, age 37, 1738, look at that. That was the same time as just before Battle of Culloden. Wow. I've never been right to the back wall before. That's what it looks like today, but you can see this is a defensive ditch. There's my wife gone, there's a door there, look. Someone's built a shed. Ensign Richard Lake, erected by his brother. I've got to find out a little bit more about Ensign Richard Lake, son of Captain Lake, 3rd Guards, who died on the 23rd of August 1838, aged 20 years old. Wow. Might be able to freeze that and read that.
Well, it's all about Barbarossa.
The Barbary pirates, yeah. But
no, they're calling them Corsair pirates on this.
no.
And that's Barbarossa, the Turkish pirate.
Because they got into Gibraltar. Because there was no wall at the top, and this goes all the way up to the cliff face, and the pirates landed on a beach, came along the top, and then they dropped down into the town. They came over the back wall and landed. So the Spanish king, King Charles the Sixth, was he? King Charles the Fifth, built a wall going from the top of the cliff all the way to the top of the rock to stop them from breaking in and taking slaves and things, because they were the same Barbary pirates that took away British people as slaves in the reign of King Henry VIII. Okay, so we're going to continue down the outer defences of Gibraltar. We're going to look at the wall itself, just because I'm interested in that sort of shit. No other reason. So Trafalgar Cemetery ditch behind us. The wall goes right up to the cliff, and it continues down to the corner. Ragged Staff Gates. This is South Bastion. There's a statue of Nelson over there. Yes, they've painted a mural look over the concrete, which I suppose is quite nice. But that was an ammunition store on the very top circular bit. I guess that was anti-aircraft guns in World War II. But it's important to remember these walls because I'm going to explain later. I'm going to walk back down the outside of the walls, and don't forget the sea came right up to the walls. Now as we approach Ragged Staff Gates, this is in the southwest corner of the town, the old town with the city walls around it. You're starting to see the cladding on the walls. Can you see this? This is the Portland cladding that I was talking about. It's not very thick, but it lines the walls sufficiently. Look at this. This is what the British did. So for some reason they didn't do this bit. Look, there's an old Moorish bit up there, look. And this is the only bit on the outside wall that's original. The British didn't mess with. What's this? 1540. Because don't forget, when the Spanish had Gibraltar, they didn't really do much to it. There was a bit of British addition there. So this is all original. And further down, I guess the money ran out and they just couldn't afford to clad it. But everything here was seawater. The sea really did come right up to these walls. A lot of these walls you can see damaged where they've been patched up from the Great Siege, and they would have all the walls would have looked like this during the Great Siege, apart from the electric wires and the internet router. And this is where the British cladding sort of ended. Or did it end or did it begin? I think it ended here because they would have wanted to continue it, wouldn't they? You can see there. Because the rest of the walls from here on are all beautifully clad and look very smart, like Camelot. I think this is Wellington front. Lots of gun positions up there. It's a fascinating place. You know, if you're into military history, you can't go wrong in Gibraltar. There's just too much to see. You'll never take it all in. There's dozens of rifled muzzle loaders, Armstrong rifled muzzle loaders. Some German invented the breech loader. And I think Armstrong and Whitworth carried on designing it, and then everything changed, didn't it? But in the height of its day, when the model in the museum was built, 1865, they were all rifle muzzle loaders. Big Victorian cannons, and it really was a fortress, and it just changed after that. Everything changed. And as you can see, development. That's all redeveloped from the sea. In fact, I'm going to go to Queensway Marina because we've not been there for a long time, have we, Fiona?
Yeah.
And we're going to check it out. wonder if there's a lot of spaces here, or there's people just gone out sailing.
There's a waiting list for this place, and as a curfew at night, they put a boom across the entrance.
Do they?
Yeah, nothing goes in, nothing comes out. I'm going to investigate where the toilet is.
Okay. It's a big table, isn't it?
It is a big table.
Oh, I've not been down here for years.
I know.
Since the big storm.
Oh, yeah, I was going to mention that. So we bought our boat in 2007. This is not the marina it was in. This is Queensway. And the following year we came down for a weekend to get away, and we happened to time it greatly for the great storm of 2008. Look that one up on the internet. And once we got our boat under control and the storm had passed, I mean, a lot of Queensway was destroyed. And we came down here, and the super yachts had come up onto this concrete. If you film that, Graham, the jump, because the wave was coming in, and it was so.
Yeah, those ramps had broken off and they were hanging right down, weren't they?
Yeah, and we were actually watching a super yacht coming up, landing on the concrete, and then scraping and going back into the water, right down, and then another wave, and it just doing that repeatedly to boats like this.
It was like a hurricane though, wasn't it?
They said it was just short of a hurricane. I think it was a hurricane. It was a nightmare for everybody.
What I do remember about this marina years ago when we first came here, we had a good mooch around, and I haven't really been down this marina much.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's okay. Thank you very much. Coffee, that looks nice.
Do you want my biscuit?
Yeah, thanks. I remember seeing a sign that said King Edward VII landed right here and got on this quayside and came up the steps and arrived in Gibraltar. Well, he wasn't a king in those days, he was the Prince of Wales. And he came round Gibraltar, he visited it, opened quite a few places. There's a plaque near Casemates with his name on it.
It's an interesting story about this marina. I won't name him, but I mean, I suppose you could Google him. He's a multi-millionaire, owns this marina, and he's one of the nicest, most down-to-earth people I've ever met. And his story is that him and his wife turned up in Gibraltar with £20 in their pocket, and they got a job at Bianca's in Marina Bay, in the other marina. And they worked really hard. I think she did the food, he did the bar. And then the owners, one of the owners, or maybe two of them, got cancer, got really, really ill. And Paul and his wife really propped them up and looked after them. And the guy sold it to him cheap as a sort of a thank you. And then a few years later, he sold it for, I believe, £1 million to the current owner. And they, I think it was Bray Property had been developing this, hadn't they? And they were struggling because it's very expensive to build a marina. And he came along and he finished it off. He used his million. Oh, that's right. He bought, I think it was this one. It was either the lounge or the waterfront. It was one of these two. He bought his own bar, and he did really, really well out of that. And then eventually he bought up bits of the marina until he, and I believe he owns it to this day. He's got the penthouse. He's got the millionaire's house, hasn't he, on the corner?
Yeah, he built all those houses on the end, over there, and that the end one's his. So I'm told. I don't know that for a fact, but
could be a billionaire for all I know now. But he's so nice.
Didn't he get into the jets, the private jets and things?
He was organising that at one point.
Taxis,
I haven't seen him in years, but just such a nice guy. He's so down to earth, so friendly.
Where did you meet him?
Here. I came and had a coffee with him. It was to do, we were exploring moving the dolphin boat to this marina at the time.
And they've got an abundance of these old cannons. Look how rusty they are. Big pitted rust. I mean, these are really old. They would have had flintlock firing mechanisms on them. VR Queen Victoria. It's even got a foresight. Look at that. Well, this is the only flight of steps. So I guess this is it. This is where King Edward VII, when he was the Prince of Wales, walked up this very spot.
Oh, I didn't know he'd been here.
Yeah. and its whole history really. There's been 14 sieges here over 1,000 years more, and there's been a lot of fighting. A lot of people have died, you know, coming and going. And if you're into military history, you know, like I say, Gibraltar's a gold mine. It really is. But you know, if you're going to rock up here thinking, I want nightclubs and beaches and boom, 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 you come to the wrong place. Go to Ibiza. Okay, so Queensway Quay's there, and this is Wellington front left Bastion, and we're going to follow the wall. We're going to walk back all the way along the old wall, so you can see the old defences. Like I said, to our left, you've got half a mile of development there now. Okay, this is Wellington front Bastion. They're all Victorian gun emplacements for the RMLs, the rifle muzzle loaders, and there's a World War II pillbox there by the looks of it, because World War II they threw everybody out of Gibraltar, everybody, and there was 4,000, 5,000 military personnel garrisoned here. The place was bristling with guns like a porcupine. And then the next, let's go into the Commonwealth Park, Fiona. I couldn't cross the road, I had to go down to the crossing. And here we are, we're in the park. I remember when this was a car park. I mean, this was absolutely rammed with cars all the time. Rammed, but it's much nicer now. There's a park. Now this is still Commonwealth Park, and we're coming up to a fort, and the British built this fort. This was the first thing that the Royal Engineers built, and when they were a newly formed regiment, they thought, yes, there's a weakness, there's a weak point here. Shortly after the British had taken Gibraltar, they said, we need a fort right here, so they built this fort. This is called the King's Bastion. And they built it just in the nick of time, because this was the scene of the heaviest of the fighting in the Great Siege of 1782, I believe, September the 10th. I think it was the 10th, correct me if I'm wrong. 20,000 French and Spanish troops attacked this fort, and they didn't get in. They were fought off. Most of them were killed or wounded, and the rest retreated, withdrew. And this place sticking out into the sea, which obviously it's not today, is it? Look, but it was in those days. And
look at that, they're doing exactly the same thing we did under Antection.
Cool. Obviously they're replacing a bit of decking that's got broken for some reason. So let's go through the Bastion, shall we?
Yeah, let's go this way, because there's this tree that I love.
I thought that's the entrance. Oh yes. Yes, you've had your photograph taken with this tree many times.
Yeah, look at this.
It's also grown round a pipe.
It's what you call industrial revolution in nature.
Steampunk.
Fantastic. He's lovely, isn't he?
Yeah. It's worth just keeping it, isn't it? Just
Yeah,
because you can.
sure.
Love it. So we'll go through the fort. It's now a leisure centre. They've got 10-pin bowling. This is where Fiona used to work.
This is a kids' bowling. A lot of snakes used to come up there, apparently.
in the night when it's quiet.
Sometimes when the customers were and up behind the bar as well. Oh my god, yeah, showing this machine that's in the bar. This is so funny. I shouldn't laugh. Forgive me, George, if you ever watch this video. George was my old boss and he went absolutely mental at this guy for doing this. So I used to work here. This machine that's embedded in the wall, I don't know what it is. All that around it. Oh, it's a cash point machine.
You okay?
Anyway, yeah, the jukebox, the bar. That bar looks quite rough now, but it was gorgeous. When I worked there, it was relatively new. A really lovely piece of carpentry, nice round bar. Anyway, it was some fella who worked there had this brilliant idea to get a jukebox and have someone cut a hole in the bar to accommodate the jukebox. But the thing is, the people we worked for didn't own it. They were renting the bowling area, you know, to run as a business. It belonged to the government of Gibraltar. Anyway, my boss came in. I wasn't there when it happened, but the other staff told me. He was like, "What the fuck?"
And you get a shot of the
went mental.
Bastion behind you.
We discovered this place because we used to take the kids across the road to
Sea Cadets, yeah. Dock number 4 was over there. They filled it in now. It's all been developed.
Martin's got his motorbike workshop there.
Yeah.
Ah, the kids used to love that. They had a little pool and stuff, didn't they?
Yeah, this was all a parade ground. Massive parade ground, as you can see. It's not anymore.
It was a car park quite
And
recently.
Rook, the Navy place, was over there, and that's all been demolished. So we're continuing to walk down the old city wall. The walls are not as high here because they've been dropped on purpose to put these posh balustrades up there and a nice staircase. But the walls were twice as high as this. They just deliberately lowered it at this point for the stairs. War memorials and things. They were going to pull the war memorial down, you know, the one at North Front, and they were going to put it here.
Which one's that?
You know, the big cross I started at the beginning of the video. I was next to that war memorial on the Sundial roundabout, the big white cross.
Oh, I know, yeah.
They were going to move it to here. That's why they put that thing there.
Oh, right.
But they couldn't get permission from the War Graves Commission because they felt that where the war graves are today would make really fabulous millions as real estate. And the War Graves Commission said nope.
Oh, right, is that it? There's
Yeah.
always someone scratching someone's, or trying to scratch someone's back, isn't there?
Yeah. So continuing down, we've still got all this Portland stone, and you can see where they've dropped the height of the wall just for these balustrades, and it goes back up to its full height, its original height. We cross the road, Fiona, we can get a better view. It's getting like a bit of a wind tunnel now. Jaguar dealer there, look, Land Rover.
I've always wondered what that place is up there.
It's the Catholic Club.
But where's the entrance? I mean, I can't...
So you got to go round onto the Lime Wall Road.
I've never figured that out, where the entrance is to it.
It's on Lime Wall Road. This was a battery. Obviously there were guns there at one time. And they built the Catholic Club, and it looks like they built it in the 60s.
Got to cross over again.
So it's really ugly, isn't it? I hope the heritage place demolish it and restore it to how it used to be. So I think the old city walls, you know, it's part of Gibraltar's heritage. It really is, and it should be preserved because it goes back 1,000 years more. And you know, they built like the Catholic Club on one of the batteries and various other things. In one of the gaps they built Ocean Heights, which was supposed to be a hotel, but another monstrosity. Okay.
This is the coach park. This is where the day trip coaches come and park up. So if we've got people on the coach that are booked for the dolphin trip, one of us has to come down and meet them. They all want the toilet as soon as they get off the coach, which is understandable. They've been on the coach for 4 hours. But normally we're trying to put an early trip on, we're in a hurry. And you try collecting 23 of them and walking them all the way to Marina Bay, and you turn around, half of them have disappeared. You're like, where the fuck are they gone? And the captain's screaming on the radio, how much longer are you going to be with these VDTs? Are they coming? I don't know where they've gone. They wander off, you know, they go in the shops instead of just following you.
You should go without them. Oh, you can hear the crickets. Must be in that tree somewhere. This is Prince Albert Front, and we're coming up to the American War Memorial that commemorates the services of the American forces, Navy mainly, in World War I and II, I suppose.
I'm thinking they've got to be real gold plated, because no one ever goes up there to clean them.
Do you reckon?
I reckon.
Nah.
I bet it's gold plate.
Could be. Quite shiny, aren't they?
In all these years, I've never seen anyone go up there and clean them. And if they were bronze or brass, they'd be black by now.
Yeah, it would tarnish, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe it's some sort of stay bright brass. That's the American.
Lacquer on it, yeah.
It's the American War Memorial.
It's really pretty.
Okay, let's continue round. What I want to do is continue round the wall, Fiona, and finish up back at Lamport Tunnel. And we're going to head down that direction again. There's another wall, an outer wall, an outer defensive. They felt they're going to put up another defensive wall at a weak bit. And today it's all bars and restaurants, all little casemates down there. We've got cannons up top, look. We've got cannons all the way around the top of the wall. It's all bars and restaurants now. I remember when it was all derelict and boarded up, it was all empty. It wasn't that long ago. Coming up to Montague something or other, Montague Curtain Wall, that's what it's called, yeah. Go on. You can see the ramp there, so easy access for soldiers to get up there, but they've built this Chatham Counterguard Works, 1955 up there. This is Ocean Heights, this is horrible. That's built on top of the wall, or right up next to it. Montague Curtain Wall, there's a really impressive looking doorway there, but it doesn't go anywhere because there's been construction behind it. There's a tunnel apparently that comes to a dead end. But nonetheless, it's a seriously impressive door. And of course they cut a hole for a tunnel into Irish Town just there. So we're going to carry on.
Spot Matthew's car. How to blend in and camouflage oneself.
Oh, the sparkly one over there. Yeah, that's him. And that's another Montague Bastion, I think that is up there. I've never been in. That's open to the public now. And again, this is Fish Market Lane, and we've got this counterguard wall, an extra wall outside of the wall. So we're going to follow the wall all the way round, and we're going to finish up back at Lamport Tunnel where we came in, because where we get to there, the wall goes back into the rock itself and up to the cliff. So we'll have walked right the way around the town, the old town, just outside the city walls. And that's the curtain wall.
That's where I used to have to come and get frozen mice for Faith's snake.
Didn't she get a snake from there?
She did, yeah.
And she called it Noodle.
Yeah, and I had to come in and get the mice and feed it because she'd gone off somewhere. I think she might have been in the UK then. I can't remember. No, because she sold it to someone else. Oh my god, yeah, I had to come in to get mice once a week. Or once a fortnight, I think. Praying to God I didn't get searched on the border.
Dead mouse. And the curtain wall comes all the way around here. And it heads down to Casemate Square. The Devil's Tongue was off here, so there was a doorway. I can show you the doorway. And the Devil's Tongue used to just stick out into the sea, and of course there's no sea out there anymore, just skyscrapers. They had to chip out the bottom of the door. I'll show you this. As the cannons got bigger and bigger, they wouldn't fit through the door anymore, so they had to smash away the wall at the bottom, because it was a wider wheelbase for the carriage, so the guns would have gone straight through. Okay, so we're coming up to Casemate Square again. This is the fish market. I'm going to go up the back of the fish market because, like I said, we're following the wall, and I wanted to show you this plaque, which was because the market was opened by King Edward VII in Victoria's reign. Well, he was the Prince of Wales. Same guy though. And you know, most people miss all these things. They just come and they go, Main Street, monkeys, that's it, fags,
Well, I've
booze.
only got a few hours before the coach goes. I don't think you can get out that end.
Well, I don't need to go that far. It's on the wall to the right here somewhere. I should be able to see it. Yes, there it is. Next to all the bins. His Majesty will be pleased. He's probably only here for about 10 seconds. The first stone of this market was laid 17th of April 1896 by His Royal Highness Albert Edward, Prince of Wales, later to become King Edward VII. And they're talking about this market here. Now this is still the curtain wall. They've obviously knocked a hole in the curtain wall there for the traffic.
And boats originally, I think.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of the steps, the little dinghies.
No, just outside the roundabout was where the boats moored up, if you see from the old model.
They had little dinghies that would come.
No, they didn't. They didn't. No.
No?
No. It was double doors like the entrance to Casemates, which we're going to look at right now. Okay, so that's the entrance to Casemate Square, and we're going to follow the North Bastion wall now back to Lamport Tunnel. Now you'll notice there's the cladding, and the wall's looking a bit bare now, and it's gone back to original here. They just didn't do this bit, though I guess the money ran out. But it gets more interesting as we go round, because this wall was subject to a lot of bombardment, should we say. That's why we've got the curtain wall. We're still following the curtain wall as well. We're between the two walls, and again there was sea on the other side of these walls. Don't forget that. We're now at the northwest corner of the city wall, so we're going to turn right and we're going to go up the Lamport ditch, which is now a car park, back to Lamport entrance. So that will complete our city wall, and you can see the state of this wall. Look, this is original Moorish, and it's been the cannonball holes have been repaired many times. It's not really in good condition. They didn't get this far with the cladding. I guess the money ran out, like I said, because this is all original, and you can see every bit where there's bricks been put in. That's where a cannonball was hit. More damage, lots of damage, more damage. There. No, people walk past all this without realising it. Of course, they've built a road now, they've built a bridge across up to the other side. That was never there. Loads of damage that's been repaired. There, there. Just don't forget, the north front, this was receiving the brunt of the Spanish bombardment from cannons. And there's the Moorish castle right on the top there. We must do a video up there. There was some sort of fort on top of this. It's a defensive position. Long gone again. You're looking at original walls here. You can spot the damage, and when you know what you're looking for, you can spot it really easily. And you can see where the defences start to climb up to the Moorish castle. There's another wall on this side, so this was literally a defensive ditch, which they've repurposed today for a car park because it's not really needed as a medieval fortress anymore. But look at all the damage in this wall. Look at it all. This was absolutely peppered. Not just from the Spanish, you know, 14 sieges over 1,000 years. Oh, hens. Again, lots more damage all the way along the wall. Lots of people would have been killed here trying to attack this north edge over the centuries. We've got some chickens that live here, and pussycats and things, wild cats.
Chickens and cats, that's the recipe for disaster. I haven't seen any cats around here in a long time. There used to be loads.
The cats attack chickens. I suppose they do if they're small enough.
They do. They used to, wild ones used to come and have all their kittens here. Oh, they're all over the place.
And they're the original Moorish defences up there. And we're back at the Lamport Tunnel, which was originally, it's a drawbridge, so you can see it's a drawbridge.
Baby chicks.
Well, they're thriving quite well, aren't they? They seem to be quite happy.
Oh, she's friendly. Hello. Or he. I don't know why they're here. They never used to be. Hello, chicken.
If you sit on the wall, they come. Oh, they're hot. Look, they're just sunbathing.
Yeah.
It's a pigeon there, sunbathing. Look at that.
Oh, look at it.
Still in his feathers, keeping a beady eye on you.
Is it hot, mate?
There's loads of them. Look.
Hello. It was making the right noise. Cock-a-doodle-doing.
I think to this day the Gib Regiment have fired their batteries from here.
Oh, do they?
You know, when they do the parades and the 21 gun salutes and everything, they have the gun, they bring the gun up there and still fire it from up there. And there is the Lamport Tunnel. So that pretty much concludes our tour around Gibraltar, around the city walls. Shame the museum was closed, but it wasn't closed, it was just closed to people with cameras who want to make videos.
Well, you'll have to film for me and see what they say.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Back in Spain again, and there's so much more room here.
Oh, it's magnificent.
I mean, I like Gibraltar, don't get me wrong, but it's very claustrophobic and expensive and noisy, and it's much nicer. I mean, all the rich people in Gibraltar have got villas in Spain, for sure.
How far do you reckon we walked today?
We walked right around the city walls from the Trafalgar Cemetery, so I'm guessing 7, 8 kilometres, just a guess.
My feet are killing me. I want to go home.
Time for gin and tonic.